Hey guys! Now, this year has been about celebrities telling us everything about their lives. Jada and Will Smith, Gabrielle Union. Now, her husband, Dwayne Wade, is also opening up about his life. The former NBA player, in his new photographic memoir, reflects on the people that have most impacted his life. He talks about his wife Gabrielle Union and how she has stood with him always. He goes on to also mention his insecurities and how he has overcome them along the way. The Miami Heat legend addresses supporting your children, talking about Zaya pursuing basketball and following in his path, and also Zaya's transitioning and coming out. The self-titled memoir is filled with more than 200 photos and memories of the Miami Heat legend's career that spanned over 15 years in the NBA until he retired.
You know the old saying, man. You get you a good woman, the sky's the limit for you. You feel you can do and accomplish anything. My wife has really, given me that, that love in the moments where, I probably haven't deserved it. She's given me that support in the moments where I felt weak and I felt like, I couldn't continue, I couldn't go. It's all these things behind the scenes that, someone who loves you will do for you. And so, I stand up here as this, successful businessman and all that, but my wife get to see the moments where I lack confidence in areas. She get to see, all the personal sides of it. So, I thank her for loving me enough to see some good in me and try to be able to pull that out, So I'm just so appreciative of her, not only in my life, but in our kids' lives, because I don't know if I would have been able to handle, being a father, a single father by myself. There's no way I would have been able to do that. And she really came in and helped me and helped the kids, find structure, find, what's important. And we all do it together. So it's a great journey for sure. What am I insecure about? Well, over time, I've been shedding a lot of my insecurities. So I used to be insecure about my feet, how my feet look. I used to be insecure about how big my navel is. Like I had one of those, my brothers used to poke it like it was an elevator button. I'm insecure that one of my eyes is laser than the other. Like whatever it is, right? Like you try to embrace everything that you are and what, God gave you and all these things. But along the way, the world and people make you feel a certain way about yourself. It's a real thing. And so as much as I've tried to get rid of all these insecurities and I've tried to grow and I've tried to not allow those things to affect me, at times they have. And behind closed doors is when they really, you really express it. And so it's the ones that's closest to you that really get to see everything about you, and for me to be able to have a support system that I have, not just for my wife, not just for my kids, but like we have amazing friends, we have an amazing family, like people who really lifts us up and catches us when we fall. And so we're just so blessed, man. I can't say no more. We're just so blessed. The one thing I love about Zaya, and I don't know what his journey is going to be. No one does. He's 19 years old. He's a kid who, just like most kids, have a dream. And his dream is to play the game of basketball. Basketball is a child game anyway. It's a kid's game. And this is a childhood dream. And so, what I see in him that is similar to me is he wants it for himself. And he really wants them for himself because he has a lot of these, comment celebrities and stars who comments a lot on his life, and he lives in a generation where some of that stuff do affect and it matters. And he wants to show that whatever it is in life, if it's not basketball, he wants to show that he can go out and he can that he can do it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people feel that he's had a lot of things handed to him, and Zaire has a story to tell. Zaire has his own struggles through this process, and I don't know those things because I didn't grow up as a father of anybody that anybody knew outside of our family and our community.
Right.
And so I don't know what it's like to be Zaya. I try to help guide him through this, but at the same token, I think he also too understands, just like I did, how blessed he is to be able to be in the position that he is in. And he's going to do everything he can to take advantage of those opportunities. And he's doing it. And it's not just from a basketball standpoint. It's the person that he is every time he walks in the room. He's an amazing, human being and a young man. And so I'm excited to be his dad because I know what kind of man he's going to be. I do the same thing I would do in basketball. I'm gonna get help. I'm gonna go work on this. Like, you know what I mean? If my jumper's broke, what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hire a coach. I'm gonna hire a shooting coach. I'm gonna hire a trainer. I'm gonna go in the gym hours and hours and hours. So if I don't know something in this life, especially if it comes from my children, it's my job to go and learn these things. Educate me and let me know. So I'm making sure that I'm speaking on your behalf to the best of my ability, and I'm making sure that I'm speaking on so many other individuals and families on the best of my ability, because this microphone I have is not just about Zaya. It's not just about Dwayne Wade. It's about, it's about my community. It's about, the trans community. It's about everybody who looks at life and doesn't look at it fair, and doesn't think that they're getting a fair shot or a fair chance to experience life to its greatest ability, and being them natural selves and all these things. So she is my greatest teacher when it comes to a space of unknown. And I'm learning so much in this space. The one thing I want people to know, and I go out and I speak about my family a lot, and I don't want the conversation to always be Zaya trans Zaya. Like Zaya's more than that. Like Zaya's a 14-year-old amazing girl who, since she stepped into her classroom on day one, she's never got nothing lower than an A. She's a straight A student through and through, right? She's a stand-up person. She's a young kid who's trying to fit in with other kids at school and trying to, get to the point where she's trying to date. Like, she's trying to live life. And Zaya's so much more than being a part of the trans community. She's my daughter. She's beautiful. And she has so many other great qualities that she's tapping into, as everyone is starting to see. She's getting into modeling now. She's getting into fashion a little bit. She's tapping into Zaya. So, I want the conversations to start changing a little bit, just from trans to just who Zaya is and what is she's doing and what she eventually will accomplish. Well, it's hard to share personal things, point blank, period. We live in a world now where, you don't even have a lot of, especially if you're in the limelight like my family is, it's not a lot of opportunities you have to keep things personal anyway. And then you share those things. And so it has not been easy to share a lot of things that we've been through. My wife has written books, I've written books. And the only reason we do it is because it's a bigger responsibility. We understand that. It's not because, we want the whole world commenting on our life, on us as parents, on our child. We do not want that. But it's bigger than us. Just like it's always been bigger than a game of basketball for me. Yeah. In our household, our saying is lead with love. You know what I mean? Like, if the world would be a better place if we all led with love, first of all, right? So that's why we try to practice that, in not just in Zaya and not just in words, but in how we treat everyone around us, everyone we come, we're able to be blessed enough to be allowed to be, in the orbit. We're not those people like, y'all blessed to be around us. No, we understand that the blessings to be able to, meet individuals from so many different walks of life, what we're gonna gain from that in life, right? We gain experiences from people. I tell people all the time, Jill, and I might be going somewhere. It's like, we live in this world right now where we're in this cancel culture, right? If you say something wrong, you will be canceled in a second. But we also got to understand, like, I'm, as an African American, as a black man in this world, I'm every day learning stuff about our history that's still being, still pulled from under the deepest of everything, and we're still learning about my heritage. And so if I don't know a lot about my heritage, and I'm still learning about my family and my family's health and all these things, how am I going to know about yours? How am I going to know about your background? How am I going to know about what you and your family and your community is going through? And so, we're at a time now where we need to listen a lot more. We need to ask a lot more questions. And it's tough to do that because if you say the wrong thing, if you look the wrong way, you're canceled. I don't know how we grow as people that way. But I take no credit. My wife is the mastermind behind all things Kavia James. Kavia James just looks like me, but my wife is really, my wife thought of that. So we just thankful for Rich and Adele for being good sports and allowing us to have a little fun, on their behalf, when we try to represent iconic duels. It's the moment for me, right? It's the Planet Cleveland Cavaliers. It's the fact that LeBron just tried to dunk on Jermaine O'Neal. It's the Michael Jordan's first game seeing me as a Jordan athlete. And you would notice once I dunked on Andy, and Andy, I don't like to relive this, but people like to, so we talking about it. Once I dunked on Andy, you will see I took a step towards the bench to the left, and I was like, wait a minute, Jordan at the game. Let me go over that way. So let me go to Jordan's way. And I'll go over there, and I'm trying not to look at him. I'm like, that's how you do it. But I'm really like, Mike, you seen that?
Right. Yeah.
We're putting it together now, but it would be in Miami. I did my 30th party, my big 30th here in Miami, and it was a moment. And so I will do my 40th right back here in Wade County. And so I just want so many people that has been a part of this journey to hopefully have an opportunity to be a part of the weekend that I will throw.